Hey, today I'd like to give you a initial review of the Canada West line of boots. This particular boots are part of the HM Moorby line, which is sort of a classic type of boot that the company makes. The company primarily makes work boots and also some Western style boots, but they do have this more classic line of boots that come in a variety of different styles, depending on what you're looking for. I've had these boots for about 3 weeks now, so this is just meant to be an initial review. I plan on doing a more long-term review down the road after I've worn these for a little bit. Starting with the overall construction of the boots. On the outsole, these particular ones have a Vibram lug outsole. It's a fairly aggressive outsole. They also come with a Vibram mini lug and more of a flat style lug sole for more casual use. These particular boots have a steel shank, which helps with overall durability and makes it easier for climbing over ladders or rocks and other sort of sharp objects like that. The outsoles themselves are attached using a Goodyear welt. In this case, it's a leather welt. This is just a traditional way of constructing boots, and it's considered to be superior to most other types of outsole construction, such as cementing the outsole to the actual boot. The boot uppers are made of a fairly thick chrome tan leather. The thicker sections I measured up here at around 2.5 millimeters. It does make use of thinner leathers. For example, the tongue itself is a slightly darker color and is a thinner tumbled type of leather. On the inside of the boots, these do come with a leather insole. I put my own sort of insole in there, but ideally, you don't have to use this. You can just go ahead and use the actual insole it comes with, which is attached. The heel of the boot does have an extra layer of leather. Not sure what the counter is made of, but there's some reinforcement in there as well. Overall, boot comes with fairly good laces. They seem to be fairly durable. Hardware, like the grommets and these little quick connects, seem to be fairly sturdy as well. Stitching seems to be well done. It's all consistent and parallel. Makes use of double end and triple stitching as well. And yeah, it's primarily it for the overall construction of these boots. I've only had these for about 3 weeks now, so we'll see how these hold up. Overall, I will say the break-in period is pretty stiff and pretty long on these boots. This is generally seen as a good thing, since it means the boots are well constructed and use a thick leather that hasn't been broken down too much by the time you get them. But we'll see long term how these hold up. For overall fit of these boots, if you have the ability to try them on in a store, I highly recommend that. The company does use very wide lasts, which means that the width of the toe box is very wide. This is good if you have wide feet, since it gives you a lot of room for your toes. However, it can affect the size of the boot that you get. For most people, sort of average feet, you're probably going to go down at least one size from your standard running shoe, and perhaps even more. If you have very wide feet, then it probably won't matter as much, but I find for myself, I've probably average to maybe slightly wide feet. I did end up going down a whole size of boot, and I probably could have gone down 1.5 sizes instead. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you can find a physical distributor to go try these on, that's probably better than trying to order them online, unless you already know your size. One thing I do find with Canada Boots that's nice is their website actually lists the particular last that they use to make all of their lines of boots, because it does vary a little bit. So once you find your size in one of their particular lines, you can kind of match it up with the others as well. So yeah, that's my initial review of the Canada West HM Moorby line of boots. If this is something that's interesting to you, I recommend you check them out. I found them to be a fair bit cheaper than some of the American-made boots, such as Red Wing. These particular ones retailed for $250 Canadian, which is significantly almost half what we would pay for a set of Red Wing boots up here. Overall, I'd say they're constructed to about the same standard, maybe a little bit less than Red Wing, but overall, I don't see anything in the construction of the boots that would lead me to believe they're not going to last as long as my Red Wings have up to now. Well, thanks for watching the video. That concludes this sort sort of initial review. I'll certainly revisit this video in the future to make a more long-term review and to see how the leather ages and how the soles do after about a year or so. So certainly check this company out if you're interested in a pair of boots such as these. I think they're not terribly common online. I don't think they're very well known, so they could probably use a little bit of love.